I didn't agree. I know there are inflation challenges, but it's not up to that level.
Up to 30%?
Yes.
What is the present inflation rate, Senator? If you don't agree.
I don't agree.
You were a lawyer, and I imagine that since you have given the parameters upon which we need to have this conversation, and I'm giving to you. So if you look at it, the Nigerian inflation figure, look at it. March 2024, 33%. May 2023, 22.41%, Senator. Look at food inflation. Food inflation in March 2024, 40.01%. May 2023, 24%. Those are the figures right here. NBS figures.
I don't agree with you.
So what do you
agree? I also know.
That is the figure.
I only know for now.
See, take your time. Listen to this interview from beginning to the end. See what this APC man, secretary, Bashorun, you are a disgrace. Hear within the talk on national TV. Yeah, take your time. Listen to the beginning of the end so that you know that these people are just a disgrace to Nigerians. Let me allow you to listen to this video where you see the country where we find ourselves. These APC members, right from beginning till today, they are still like this. They never changed. Upon this hunger in the land, this hardship, somebody will still come and speak like this. Just watch.
It's a tough period for every citizen of the world, not only Nigeria. And I know you know that.
Can you contextualize that?
I can contextualize. As I speak today, when you go and check the cost of living crisis, it will be definitely not only Nigeria, not only Africa, but even advanced capitalist economies. And what are the causes for this? You will know that the production globally has not even resumed back to the level it was before COVID-19. What happened with COVID-19 pandemic was practically a shutdown of global economy for a period of 2 years. And shortly after that, you have the Ukrainian war, which, of course, affected grain supply and some other essential supply, not only to Europe, but to other part of the world. Then follow on the back of that was also the crisis in the Middle East. So when you look at what is happening in the world, it's not localized in Nigeria, it's not localized in Africa, but it's a global change that all of us as statesmen, as politicians, we must confront with patriotism and with a clear sense of direction as to the fact that it is necessary for us to galvanize our economy, ensure that production and infrastructure goes to the level to be able to let us deliver on the welfare and security of our people.
As much as, one would like to reason, because we need to put a sense of reason into all of this matter and look at the perspective, because it is not an issue of villain versus the hero in this matter. There's no one that is looking out to vilify the government or the ruling APC. I think we're looking for solution. Global economic indicators or situation might be, on one hand, a contributor to what we are experiencing locally. But let's deal with the local economy and some of the decision of this government. It might be highly incorrect for you to blame global economic situation on the economic situation of Nigeria. Don't you agree?
Can you, in the globalized economy, insulate what happened in any country or any corner of the world from what happened globally? We are now in a globalized economy, but that is not to say that we will not also localize what we are doing within the context of our economy to advance the economic and well-being of our people. We are not saying that we are resting on our ass and we are saying that we are helpless in tackling these economic challenges. So the question I expected you to ask is, what is our government, the government of APC led by Senator Tinubu, doing in terms of being able to address the challenges of the economy? And if you ask me that question, I would say that since assumption of office, he has...
Since I've not asked you that question, just pause a moment. I'm the one that's moderating. So if you allow me to ask a question, like I said, it might not be a comfortable one, but we are looking for solution. You are the national secretary of your party. You understand the ideology of your party. You understand what your party promised. You are one of those who convinced Nigerians that the APC is a better alternative for Nigerians. But if you're going into the local indices, and we can go there, and when we wonder that the Yorubas will say, if you cannot make me better, leave me where you left me. The question is, how are the indicators before your government of the APC came into force about a year ago? What are the indicators? What were they saying? The GDP figures, the inflation figures, the food inflation, unemployment rate, the differences between 1 year ago and now. How would you explain to Nigerians who are watching tonight that the differences that we have seen in almost double in the numbers of those indicators are defendable by your government or your party?
You see, I'm a student of logic, and of course, I will not want to engage in what is called fallacy of hasty generalization. I would rather want us to take specifics. You can't just say all indices are doubled. I'm not oblivious of commentators that just come here and throw up figures that is not based on statistics. Let us start with the GDP. I know a commentator, a defeated presidential candidate, is throwing figures based on the 2014, rebasing of the GDP.
Who is the person?
I won't mention his name. If you don't know, he's one of the people that lost the election and went to tribunal. I don't, but I know that is been banditing some funny figures around the GDP of the country. The last time our GDP was rebased was in 2014. We are in 2024. And of course, between naturally, the base of GDP should be done on the basis of 5-year period. Now we're in 10 years. I'm aware that MBS is currently working on analyzing and rebasing our GDP. And when the figures come out, then you cannot be talking of a correct figure that you can be talking about. You cannot be banditing figures that was based on 2014 circumstances and then use it as a parameter to do so. Then when you talk of inflation, on a month-by-month basis is what you judge inflation. You cannot just say inflation is going down. And I know that in the past 4 months, inflation trend in Nigeria slowed down by the data available from the National Bureau of Statistics. So when you're going to just talk parameters being done, then question is this, that you must also know that the government of APC, the government of Ashwaju Bola is a reformist government. We're addressing some fundamental dysfunctionality in the Nigerian economy. One, we're addressing the problem with a subsidized foreign exchange system that has made Nigeria not to be competitive in the global economy. We're addressing the total heist and the sociality that subsidy regime has brought to the energy sector in our country. We are also tackling the age-long challenges of infrastructure deficiency that the president and our government is investing seriously in infrastructure to be able to galvanize and be able to deal with economy. And in terms of our promises in the area of agriculture, we know that food security is very key to be able to address economic challenges that we are facing in the country. As I speak today, I can speak to certain figures of what our government have done in that very vital sector of our economy. As at today, not less than 118,857 hectares of wheat in 15 states have been cultivated. And this, we're also given support in this regard, had led to not less than 107,429 farmers who are engaged in the area of wheat. Of course, 209 billion in the agriculture sector alone have been injected into the economy. And of course, the question of even the livestock management has been addressed by the implementation of the livestock development policy. In the area of infrastructure, you are aware that the government is tackling head-on not only infrastructure challenges we have in the capital, but all over the country. In the health sector, the primary health system, active collaboration to be able to address the health challenges of the people is being done by this government. And of course, in the education, the student education loan scheme promise, of course, has been put in place and also is being activated. So we rather speak to specifics as to what the present administration is doing to be able to tackle some of the challenges inherited and some of the challenges that naturally every society will face from time to time. Education is key. We are not resting on our horse in being able to address that. Health sector is very key. Agriculture and food production, with a view to having food security, is being addressed holistically by administration. Of course, you cannot have an economy that you don't address the sociality that will be able to aid the macroeconomic stability of the country. And these are part of the deliverables that the present administration is working upon. So it's not just about coming up and say, painting a gloomy picture. Yes, I'm very aware that when you have a reformist administration, there will be challenges, and of course there are challenges. But that is not because efforts are not being made to address those challenges. And then at the end of the day, if those challenges are not presently tackled now, then of course we are preparing for doomsday, and that will never come under the watch of our party and the watch of President Bola Tinubu.
Facts are sacred, isn't it? You agree? And let's stick to the fact. Let's say on inflation and food inflation. Those are two issues, because if I take you to any other of those, we don't have the time to be able to espouse on those issues. Let me take you to Bola Tinubu assuming office in May 29, 2023. You know what the figure is. You remember?
I know. That's the figure. You are national television.
Yes, inflation is about 22% or 23% before the president got into office. Inflation, as of now, it grew to about 33.95%.
Yes.
So how do you explain?
I expect you to also tell us at what point did inflation get to 33.5%, and what has been the flow of inflation in the past 4 or 5 months. You can't just pick up a figure and just
you a question, because you have said that we should stay on the facts and the figures, and that's what we're saying. And I'm asking you a straight jacket question, Senator. The inflation rate was just a little above 20%, and now is over 33%.
I don't agree with that statistics.
So what is your own statistics?
I don't know, but I don't.
But if you don't know, why are you disagreeing? I'm telling you facts on national television.
What is your source of inflation? You can't just.
It is the MBS whose salaries are being paid by the government.
Of course, MBS did not give it.
So you do not agree also that the inflation rate has risen dramatically from a year ago up until now?
I didn't agree. I know there are inflation challenges, but it's not up to that level.
Up until 33%.
Yes.
What is the present inflation rate, Senator? If you don't agree,
I don't agree.
You are a lawyer, and I imagine that since you have given the parameters upon which we need to have this conversation, and I'm giving to you. So if you look at it, the Nigerian inflation figure, look at it, March 2024, 33%. May 2023, 22.41%, Senator. Look at food inflation. Food inflation in March 2024, 40.01%. May 2023, 24%. Those are the figures right there. NBS figures.
I don't agree with
So what do you
agree? I also know.
The figure.
I only know for now that yes, there are inflationary challenges, and that as a government we are tackling those inflationary challenges.
So if you do not agree with these figures, which are released officially by
you said so. You said so.
I did not. These are the figures, official figures, Senator.
I don't have access to
it. Do you have access to the price of yam, rice, tomatoes in the market? Do you have access to those?
Per ton or per tubers?
But whatever. I mean, per Congo, like your people in the Osun State will call it.
Yes.
Do you have access to it? Is it more expensive than
it's expensive? I'm not doubting.
So why are you trying to hide under one figure?
I'm not.
It's unfair to Nigerians when you are disagreeing with figures that are officially quoted by the NBC.
I don't agree with you. I've not seen it on NBC. I'm just telling you.
So you don't read the papers, or what exactly is the problem?
I don't read papers.
So why don't you agree with figures?
If you read the place, what I'm telling you is that your figure, I don't agree with it.
It's not my figure. It's the official figure. I'm telling you.
It's your figure. You put it here. I don't.
This is going to offend the sensibilities of an average Nigerian. When you,
I cannot admit to what I do.
The government of the day are the ones producing these figures, and
I said I'm agreeable. Get my point. I'm agreeable that inflationary challenges, but I don't agree with that figure that you have quoted.
Do you imagine that there seems to be some kind of failure in the manner of handling of the economy?
I don't agree, and that's why I'm telling you that.
Why are things worsening, Senator?
These are challenging. I must tell you that things are challenging. It's different from things are getting worse. And I told you when I was talking, we know there are challenges in the area of food security. And I've told you that one of the cardinal things that this administration is doing is to address the challenges in food security. We are putting a lot of effort in releasing food, even from reserves, into the market. That shows that we know there is a challenge. But that's different from pigeon-only me to a figure that I did not see before I come here. I cannot, on national television, admit to what I did not see. It's just say so.
So, I agree there are efforts. Anyone can jump on the treadmill in the corner of their room and run 35 kilometers, but they've not left the same spot. Effort does not mean result. We are seeing effort, but the figures are saying something totally different. I'm asking you, are you imagining, just a moment, Senator, that there seems to be some kind of failure in the handling of the economy,
I don't agree. It's not true.
You don't think that the nation is rating and judging your government and it has failed in that regard?
The country is not failing. And what you are saying,
I'm saying the economy is failing.
The economy is challenged.
All the indicators are in the red, Senator.
The economy is challenged. Does not mean that the economy is failing. And that's the truth about it. And I'm telling you that we are a reform government. I told you effort we are taking in trying to handle the problem we have in the area of economy, in terms of macroeconomic challenge that we have, in tackling the dysfunctionality, tackling the problem of food security, tackling the challenge we have in education.
Is government willing to take a new direction?
Can you tell us what are the new directions?
You campaign for it.
No, that's why I'm telling you what we are doing. You are talking about new direction. Tell us what we are doing that is wrong.
You should tell Nigerians. Because
I've told you what we are doing. If you can read what we are doing.
You said it. That this what you are doing doesn't mean that it's working.
It is going to work, and it's working.
How much more can Nigerians wait?
It's easier for you to sit down and play a doom-based scenario for the people. It's easier for you to make criticism, but it's not as easier for you to take the bull by the horn and say this is the pathway to the progress that we have known. What we are doing is to say, yes, we have challenges. I'm not saying we don't have challenges. We have challenges in the area of employment. We have challenges in the area of food security. We have challenges in the area of security. But it is not without effort. We are making effort. And even the figures, you are giving, assuming without considering that is even true. It's not static. Some of the efforts assuming without considering.
Let me ask Nigerians, whatever. What is your Twitter handle? I'll let them to give you, if you don't agree with the NBS figure, wherever you may be in any part of Nigeria, tweet at me and Senator Akinbaloye Bashorun the price of commodity, the price of food in your area. Maybe Senator will be aware.
I'm not saying you are getting the point wrong. I'm not saying it's offensive to me. When you are also saying it's very offensive of twisting what I'm saying. It's very offensive. What I'm telling you is that what you have said in terms of society is different. I'm not saying food prices are not high, and I told you that we are making intervention to address food security. If you don't have problem,
are those working? Are those efforts?
They are working. They are working.
Why are the figures saying something totally different? We're in the age of data, Senator.
Yes, I'm telling you, they are working. So what they are saying is that government pack up, do nothing to address problem of food security. No, we're in planting season now. We are in planting season now. We are planting season now. You see, if you say our effort is not done, it's not just to say our effort has not done. I've told you what we have done. We have talked of agricultural inputs. We have talked of cultivation of wheat. We have talked of insemination of livestock. We have talked of livestock development, program. We have talked of giving farm input, to people. We have talked of irrigation farming. Irrigation farming.
You're asking Nigerians to wait more.
Of course, if you start on,
you need to beg. You need to plead with Nigerians.
That's what I started in my opening remark.
You need to be a bit
there's
more.
a challenge. But that does not mean you would throw any figure at people.
I'm not throwing any figure.
What I'm telling you is that we know there are challenges. We know there are challenges in the area of food security. We know there are challenges in the area of employment, and the government is doing as much as possible trying to address that. And of course, our solutions cannot just be magical. It will be a process. If you start working on addressing food security, it's not on a single day that you plant and those things will grow.
So, you need to play to the sensibilities of Nigeria, because we're a leader of the APC. If your party is doing something and it doesn't look like Nigerians are feeling the effect of it yet, because those who are going on the streets to protest, the government is saying don't protest, but they say they are hungry. They say there's bad governance.
Please, on that protest, it is not about bad governance. Because when you talk about bad governance, there are so many parameters that you look into it. Then I don't know whether you have seen the charter of demands of the so-called people that want to protest. The bulk of their demands are political demands, they are not economic demands.
How do you?
I have it, I can give it to you.
No, I
have it. Yeah, this
Which of these you don't?
This one, I saw this one, and I begin to read it out. What are the economic demands that are there? What are the economic demands? This is what they see. That's why I tried.
So you think that the intentions are not right?
They are not. Let's start reading it out. They said we should scrap the 1999 constitution and replace with a people-made constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria through sovereign national conference, immediately followed by a national referendum. Is that an economic demand? I'm just asking. Then that you should toss the Senate arm of the Nigerian legislative system away, keep the House of Rep, and make lawmaking part-time endeavor. Is that an economic demand? Then the one about minimum wage. Just last week, the president addressed the question of minimum wage by coming up with 70,000 minimum wage that even the labor leaders applauded. Then they said Nigeria, the country should invest in education. We are doing that already. The student loan framework can come. They release Masin Nnamdi Kanu. Is that an economic demand? Diaspora voting. Is that an economic demand? Sacking of judges. Is that an economic demand? So you look at what they have brought out as their own charter of demand and separate it from the legitimate aspirations and yearnings of Nigerians for better living conditions that our government is addressing.
Are you worried that your party seems to be unpopular?
How that is not unpopular?
Just a moment.
On your program, you saw that people are even coming to our party.
Senator, if I may land on the question, do you imagine for a moment that your party is rather looking unpopular if people agitations like this, and your government of the APC is just about a year into its office, and they are already questioning the capacity of the government to deliver on the yearnings of the people?
And I'm telling you, if it's about the protest, this is their charter of demands. This has nothing to do with governance. It's not to do with.
So where do we go from here?
It doesn't have to do with legitimate.
The promises of your party.
I'm telling you that.
And the way forward for Nigeria.
So let us separate two things.
So you're saying that they should not go to the streets?
Our demands, our government, we promise economic development. We promise security. We promise an inclusive government. We promise improvement in the health sector. We promise our ideal of education. And I'm saying that our government, we are doing so much in terms of addressing those things that we promise Nigerian people. So you must separate political agitation, which is politically motivated, but from genuine aspiration of the man on the street who is concerned about the food on his table, which I said our country is our government is addressing. From those people who have political, act to grant. And when you look at their charter of demand, which I have it here, they set it around.
But you know they have rights to protest, isn't it?
Of course, you have right to protest, but then you also protest on basis what's even realizable from protest. How do you scrap the constitution of your country by way of protest? Is that a legitimate way? There's a difference between protest and revolution. A revolution seek to overthrow an existing legal.
Is it what they are asking for?
Of course, when you say 1999 constitution should be scrapped, section 1 of the constitution says that the Nigeria should be governed by the 1999 constitution. That's revolution.
Senator, let's take a pause.
You listen to this video, this man. You see, this man, Bashorun, his whole statement and part Utomi. You see the two difference now. Now they will say because part is not in APC, is Labour Party. That's why he's speaking like that. See, let me tell you something. You know why I will not bring this man on this video? If you listen to this video from the beginning, Seun said this person, this APC man coming on this show, that he is a controversial man. I pray that we might not have a good conversation on this episode. That this man is a very controversial person. We might not have a good conversation on this interview. Then he went further to apologize to Nigeria on his behalf. This is exactly what he displayed on the national TV now, in the name of he want to defend APC. You deny, you can't see, they don't know this figure. No, it's not real. Figure from the federal government direct. This is the one everybody know. You don't know it. You are just a disgrace. You guys are just a disgrace. You said this list of the demands, the reason of Nigeria going on protest, that they are not economic demand. They are political motivated. They are good. Your children are watching. They are watching now because they don't feel it now. Food in the house. If you get grown-up children or children where you never, if you get children where you never they work on their own, where you never they into company, never they work, never they hustle on their own, they will not understand. Because anytime you go and you go shopping, your wife and they will go shopping and shop food, full house. They're not the feeling. That's why you guys will come and speak like they have the audacity to speak like this in the studio. Now, what is the future here? We should wait for what you guys are planting now till 1 year, after 1 year, for those things to germinate now. Before you start, where is, did you see any reasonable conversation here now? You see him and Patu Tomi quite different. It's APC, they're always like that. You say somebody who do not even see what is going on as a problem. How are they going to provide solution to this problem? That's a problem. So where would they go if this protest they go here? They're already running. You know that somebody must first of all admit that okay, yes, so but you disagree with this figure now that they are not true, they are lies. That means to say they are not, you don't see it as a problem. You say you guys are working. Is that not what you guys have been saying? You guys are working. We are not seeing the manifestation, the result of you guys working. Every time you listen to them, we are working for how long? Until we see the effect before we know you guys are working. You want to buy, you say you want to release, you are making effort to release food. Oh, you guys have where you kept it. Now when it is time, you ring the bell and release it and start distributing. You want to give, you know, Nigeria problem is bigger than temporary measure. You don't give food to, and how long? And how many people you won't even give food to? How many bags of rice you say you won't distribute to over 200 millions of people? How does it work? It doesn't work, and that is not a way forward. This temporary measure, you want to give few set of people, your party members, few set of few rice, cup of rice. How long? And you say you want to give them, you only rice you are distributing. You don't even think about the gas they are going to use to cook it, other ingredients they are going to use to cook that rice. You just boil rice and start eating them. Even water safe. They need to buy some of them need to buy water. You are just a disgrace to. In fact, please. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You know I'll be your guy. Run out for me. Subscribe. What do you think about this, man? Leave your comment. This is APC, man. This is what they have done to Nigeria.
We'll take a break, everyone. But when we I know you are one of those who are supporting the planned protest. Are you going to be part of it? Are you going to join them on the street, though?
Excuse me?
Are you supporting the planned protest?
Are you joining people who fabricate rumors? You want me to add you to my lawsuit?
Prof, are you part of the protest or not?
How can I be part of the protest? Nobody called me to tell me there was a protest going on. I had not heard of the protest until I was telling somebody on the phone that I'm on my way to Nigeria, a few days ago. And the person said, I hope you'll not be trapped by protest. I said, which protest? He said, the one that will take place in August. I said, I didn't know about protest too. Only
but you've been part of protest in the past, Prof. And I imagine that you probably will be part of this one too.
I've been protesting. Protests are very important things to do to get the attention of people who are not listening.
But is this government listening though, from what you have observed?
So, I'm living across the big pond, far away from here. I don't know who is listening or not listening. All I know is that the numbers that I see are not looking good. And we're dealing with the lives of millions of people. It is not a joke. Sometimes political actors think it is a game. It's not a game. It's the lives of people. People are hungry. People are dying. There are things that can be done. Look, it's time to even stop all this partisan badgering. We have a country that is dying that we need to fix. We are in a moral equivalence of a war, and everybody should sit down and work on this. For the last 9 months, I've been in quiet tweets and this and that, making suggestions about what can be done. Nobody's paying enough attention to what should be done. People who have ideas are offering them, but people who are more interested in transactions are dominating the conversation. I mean, Senator Bashorun just talked with you, kept talking about these are economic, no, not economic. Who cares about the economy when politics can determine the economy? Why are you separating them? If you say change the constitution, of course, one of the economic problems of Nigeria is that the cost of running National Assembly is unreasonable. So if you cut out the National Assembly, you will have resources to use to help poor people live a better life. So why can you say that it's not economic? So I think we should be honest with ourselves and just sit down as citizens and talk about a country that is going through a really horrible patch. Forget all those things that we throw up, party, this, that. Our country is in dire straits. Look, at the beginning of this year, I put out a tweet and I said, the key issue in Nigeria is how we produce our way out of this problem. We know that agriculture has been in trouble. Food production has been going down because people can't go to their farms. In fact, in one of the SBM intelligence reports from about 5 years ago, they were already pointing to the fact that there are people in agricultural areas who have actually not farmed for years. By today, most of those people don't even know how to farm anymore. That's a fundamental problem we have to deal with. That many of our traditional farmers have been prevented from farming for so long that they don't even know how to farm anymore. How do you approach that in terms of how you turn around agriculture? Next thing in January, I tweeted, I said, look, what you need to do, consider this a moral equivalence of a war. Whether it's at the state level or local government level or community level, recruit an army. I remember when I was making that statement, I was mentioning Chibaudu Ugbe, and I was struggling to remember the name of the thing that he was doing. I think it's Forest Rangers. I said, let's organize those Forest Rangers, cordon off certain areas of very productive, man them with these people, and say to people, go in and farm. Here are farm manager support systems, bringing some of our South African friends who have a great long history of this. Provide farm support. Look, legumes grow in 3 months. I don't know what Senator Bashorun was talking about. Legumes, 3 months. If in March we had put out these kinds of programs, by now food will be coming out from everywhere. But in the Senate, they are more interested in playing games. They have not provided alternative policies to the government to show them. It's not enmity to give alternative ideas. That's what democracy is about.
But Prof,
you're going to help them out.
Yeah, if I may jump in quickly, Prof. There are a few efforts here that we've seen that this government of the day, some of which Senator Bashorun has also reeled out. Part of it, those who have advocated for the removal of subsidy, that is a scam. This president, in the first day in office, removed free subsidy. There are also the multiple efforts.
You miss it because just removing subsidy is not enough. Look, subsidy, all of us, I have been saying for 20 years, we need to get rid of these things because it's distorting the economy. The price systems is being distorted. The biggest source of this distortion is NNPC. What reforms have they carried out in NNPC since they got there? I thought the first thing would be to fire all the guys in NNPC and begin to rebuild it. People who have been paying people to run a refinery that doesn't exist for 12, 15 years. Are those managers? People who have said that we are consuming 6 times the level that any normal statistical projection will show you Nigeria can consume of petrol. They should all have been sacked a long time ago. I have told you on this show a remark that was made to me when I was researching the book Managing Uncertainty back in the 90s. I was interviewing an immediate past group managing director of NNPC. And I said to him, should we privatize NNPC? And he looked at me kind of coyly. I said, is it not privatized already? I said, what do you mean? NNPC has been long privatized. The problem is that those who own it did not pay for it. It's in my book. It's not a story. NNPC Group Managing Director said that. And we get to power. We know that is a major sort of distortion. We're talking about removing subsidy and we're not touching NNPC. We cannot be considered to have a full grasp of what we're dealing with. So you maintain all the costs that are problematic with the nature of the structure and operation of NNPC. You maintain all the problematic challenges around fuel supply, and you say you remove subsidy. Hey, it will hit you. First of all, you're going to remove subsidy. Hold on, let me educate you a little. You don't let people tell you so that you can learn. You see, when you want to do that kind of thing, you begin by saying, my people, my country, we've got these problems. This is the source of where the problem came from. Together we can fix it. On my part, I as your leader, from today, I will only go around in Toyota Corolla. Is
that what President Tinubu should have done?
Yes. Then get everybody on board and said, yes, so together we fix our country. You don't talk about removing subsidy and people are going to be suffering like crazy, and we're talking about budgets of yachts and presidential jets and motorcades of Senate presidents, and this show is a political economy. Don't anybody tell you this is not economics. Hey, That's why
Prof,
I called myself what I call myself.
Yeah, Prof, you're a political economist and a renowned one. You have been on the ground for far too long that a lot of people need to listen to you. Perhaps Senator Bashorun can take a few things and take it to his political party. Perhaps this government also can learn one or two things from your experience and your knowledge. Can you say, because Senator Bashorun told us earlier, that their government and the party have done almost everything possible to fix this economy. The question is, are we in the right direction? Are we headed the right way? If we are not, can we take a U-turn?
Yeah, let me give you a simple example. A few weeks ago, I heard this story about how the government was going to massively import food to take care of people who are hungry. And my first reaction was, oh my God, because of a very simple thing. I have told you already that those who are farmers, there are many of them who don't know how to farm anymore because they've not been farming for 10 or more years. So we should be thinking, how do we retrain them to begin to farm? And then we say, oh, we're going to bring in food. What will happen is that everybody who's involved in agriculture will stop in that area. You don't earn enough to keep bringing in food to keep these people. It will take you a couple of years to get things going. So what you needed to do was what I said earlier in January. Create these protection areas, begin to reteach people how to farm, do everything to make it keep going. If there are gaps you can fill them. But don't say they're going to massively bring in food. When I said this, people say, Utomi has come again. Thank God, Dr. Akinbaloye repeated exactly what I said. He was agriculture minister, president of the African Development Bank. Hey, there's enough intelligence in Nigeria and in Nigerians around the world for us not to be making these kinds of mistakes that are completely avoidable.